Hello, I am so glad you can join me today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today I'm making one of Barbados' favorites. I'm making bakes. But this bakes is going to be a little bit different because I am putting saltfish in my bakes. So these bakes is going to have a little bit of yeast to make it rise, so it can be nice and big and fluffy on the inside, and then we'll cut them on the inside. We will add some saltfish to it. Okay, so let me show you exactly how this is done. Here's my ingredients right here. I have here my saltfish, of course, and these are the things that will be added to my saltfish, which is some garlic here, some tomatoes, some onion, and some pepper. These are going to be the main ingredients that's going to be added to that. Over here, I'm going to get started on my bake. So first thing I have here is 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to sieve my flour into my bowl here. And these should give me, because I'm going to make them pretty big, so it should give me about 6 of them. If you want to do it smaller, you will probably get like 8 or 10 out of them, but about 6 is going to be good. Okay, so I sieve my flour. Oops, that's it. Now over here I have some stuff that I'm going to be adding here. So normally for this, now guys, I first had this, I went to Barbados a couple years ago, and I was in Christchurch and I was hungry, so I stopped. There was a little plaza in Christchurch that I stopped at, and I bought this from there. It was the bakes and it had the saltfish in it, so I'm just redoing it. Okay, now this one did not have cinnamon inside of it, and it did not have essence inside of it, okay, because it's not really supposed to be sweet. It's almost like a bread, but I'm adding a little bit of cinnamon, and I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla essence to mine. No, you do not have to add the cinnamon and the vanilla essence to yours, okay, so you can get more of a bread kind of thing. I kind of like a little bit of sweet, still not too sweet. I'm not going to make it too sweet, but this is how I'm going to make it. Okay, so in this plate right here, I have a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I have a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so I'm gonna add this all to here. This is my butter right here that I'm gonna be adding here in a few minutes, and this is 2 tablespoons of butter. And this butter is soft. I left it in here to come to room temperature, so it is soft. So we're going to be using our hands. Okay, so make sure that you're going in with clean fingers. Your hands are nice and clean. So what I put in here, I'm going to mix up, because I'm going to put some yeast in here. And you don't want your yeast to really touch your salt, because then it doesn't interact. Okay, so the salt kills the yeast. So I mix that up. I have here a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to put that sugar in here and mix it up. And then I have over here my yeast, and that is 1 teaspoon of yeast, and I'm going to put that in here and mix that up as well. Okay, and once this is all mixed up right here, I'm going to take my butter, and I'm going to go in with my butter. And as a matter of fact, I have this, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go in with my butter, and then you're going to just take your hands and squeeze your butter up in here. Okay guys, so when you mix this up like this, okay, you mix your flour in there, then I have some warm water here. Now I can't tell you exactly how much water this is, because you're going to put in water until you get the texture that you need. So what I like to do is I just like to put a little hole in my center right here, put a little bit of water in there, and then you're going to just come in and bring your flour in, and you're going to mix it in. Mix this in until you get the right texture, and you're only going to add a little bit of water at a time. Okay, just a little bit of water at a time. Add a little more. Just remember, if you're missing, add too much water, you can add a little more flour. to it. When it comes together, then it leaves your, see, it's starting to come together. So I'm going to sprinkle a little flour on my counter, and now I'm going to take this out of here and put it on my counter. And we now, remember guys, we have to knead it. And the reason we do that kneading is to stretch the gluten, the protein in the dough. Okay, so I'm going to knead this for a few minutes, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay guys, so I have been kneading this here now for about 8 minutes or so. So as you can see, it is nice and it is smooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down to rise. See, the top is nice and smooth. So I'm going to put it back in my bowl here, and I have a towel, a wet towel. I'm gonna put my towel over this, and I'm gonna sit this down here for about 45 minutes to an hour, so that it can rise, so that the yeast can do its thing. While this is rising, I'm gonna go ahead and make the saltfish that's gonna go on the inside. Okay, so let's get started on our saltfish. Okay guys, so now let's get started on our saltfish. So in here I have some organic coconut oil. I like to cook with this. So I'm gonna take about 2 tablespoons of this and put in here. That's my coconut oil. You can use, of course, any kind of oil that you like. I just, you know, I use that. Then to my oil, I have some garlic here that I chopped up. I'm going to use this garlic in here. I chopped that garlic up fine. And I'm going to saute this for a couple minutes. The next thing I'm going to add is some onions. And I will saute this for a minute in here. Leave that for a minute to saute. So now I have my onion and my garlic here. So I'm going to add some peppers to that. And I'm going to add some tomatoes as well. And let this all cook down together for a minute. And to this, I'm going to add some spices. Guys, I'm going to add a little bit of butter to that. And of course, we're going to add the main guy here, which is the saltfish. And of course, I had my saltfish soaking to get all of the salt out of it. If you buy salted codfish, you have to make sure you either boil the salt out of it or you soak it. I bought this yesterday, so I had it sitting in some water soaking, so I didn't need to boil it. Okay, so now we're gonna add a little bit of spices to that. And guys, I usually add random spice that I have in my cabinet. I don't have, you know, no particular special, you know, spices to add to this. I just add stuff that I have that I like the flavor. What I just add in here just now was a little seasoned salt. This is a little paprika, and I just there's no particular amount. I just sprinkle a little bit. So sprinkle a little bit, and if you sprinkle, you taste and you feel like you need more, add more. Even though I have onions in there, I still sometimes add a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder. Now other people would add fresh peppers in here to give it that hot spicy taste. I'm just gonna add some black pepper to that, and I'm going to add you see my bottle is almost empty. Look at that, look. See, it's almost empty. This is my Tinaraine. The label is all messed up. I had this for so long. This is my Tinaraine pepper sauce. I have to have pepper sauce, guys. I like my pepper sauce. It's good. This is how you make your saltfish, okay? If you're gonna make this is like a gravy to go on a rice, whatever you're gonna do with it. So I'm gonna let this stay here and boil down so the tomatoes would cook a little bit, the fish would cook, and the green peppers. So I'm just gonna cover this on a low stove and leave it here for a little while. You can also add some ketchup to it and you know, whatever you want to add to it, okay? So I will be back as soon as this is all done. Our saltfish is on boiling, and this is our dough. As you see, it has gotten a little bit bigger. It has risen in size, so now we need to let the air out of it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna divide it in half right here. And I want probably from this one, I want probably about 3. And the same thing over here. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna just make it into a ball. And just go around pinching it. Could be making a ball like that. And you're gonna pinch it. And do the same thing to the rest. Kind of flatten it out a little bit first. Flatten it out, flat, 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 flat. And then we just push everything underneath there because we're making a ball. And we're gonna pinch it as we go around, and then flatten the back. And I'll do this to all of them. Okay guys, so here I have 6 balls, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them all back in here and let them sit again for just 15 minutes this time, not for too long. And then after they sit for about 15 minutes, then I'm going to deep fry them. Okay, so we'll be back in 15 minutes. Guys, so this is my saltfish. It's all done. I boiled out, as you see, mostly liquid. I didn't put any water in here, but of course the fish was wet, so it has some liquid in it. So that's just a little bit of moisture there because I boiled up most of it from in there. So now this is done. I'm gonna turn the stove off. And I'm gonna put this aside and let it cool, and then we will use this later. So let's go on to our next step. So now, as you see, they have risen. When you leave them for another 15 minutes, they rise again a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna put them all here on the counter. So I have 6 of them. So now what I do is I'm going to just flatten it out. And you can just go around like this and flatten it out. And in the meantime, I have my oil on the stove, and I am heating up my oil in the meantime. I have it on medium because you don't want to make your oil too hot. So guys, while I'm doing this now, waiting for my oil to heat up, let me tell you something. Next year, I want to come to Barbados on vacation. So I'm kind of putting this out there for anyone out there. I have some friends who has never been to Barbados and they want to come along with me. They're so far about 12 people that want to come to Barbados. Now I have no idea where they're going to stay in Barbados, and I was saying I would like to find some place, maybe an Airbnb or some place that is on the water that they can stay. It could be a hotel, it could be an Airbnb. We're looking for good prices. So if any of you out there that live in Barbados and have an idea where they can all stay, please write me and let me know so that I can let them know, because actually I'm in charge of finding some place and activities and everything for them. And since this will be their first time coming to Barbados, I really want them to enjoy themselves and have a good time, okay? So I'm trying, so if you can scout out some places for me, let me know so that I can let them know where they'll be able to stay. But we're looking to come to Barbados next year, maybe around June or so. I'm kind of excited. I'm looking forward to it, to hanging out. But I want some place on the beach, some place in the water. I think that'd be nice. Okay. All right. So this is how I stretch this out. But as I say, if you want it, stretch out some more. If you want a little bit bigger than this, you can take your rolling pin and just kind of roll it out a little bit like that. Just stretch it out a little bit. Okay. And now come over to the oil. Okay guys, so I have my oil on. Ooh, it just dropped right out of my hand. It's like, okay. It just dropped right out. Don't drop it out like that though, you splatter up and burn yourself, okay? So that's it. So what happens, you drop it in and then you see it starts to float to the top, and you can just take your oil and just throw your oil on top of it. And I'm going to turn it over on the other side because I want it to cook on both sides. And you don't, make sure that your oil is not too hot because you don't want it to brown too quick. You want to be able to cook on the inside. Okay? And you can just keep flipping it. Ooh, this is not a good flipper. Let me get a good flipper. Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, and just throw some more on the. Now you're gonna get you just keep putting your oil on top of it. So this is I can take this out now. So I have a plate here with a paper towel on top. I'll just drain off your oil and then put this on top of your paper plate. And then go on to the next one. Go on to the next one. You do the same thing all over again. Stretch it out. You can take your pin and flatten it out. And then we'll drop this in and drop this in. There you go. Floats to the top. Flip it. We want to make sure it's cooked on both sides. Okay. Let me flip you the right way so I don't burn myself. Take that out. Get all the oil out, drain off all the oil. And then I have a paper right here that I'm going to put it on and let it drain all the excess oil, drain off. And we will continue this process. Okay guys, so this is the last one here. We just drop that in there. And let's finish this up. We're gonna flip it. Let me get my flipper. And we just, it looks like a pita bread. And that's it guys. See? And that's your float, your big. Flip it over. I don't need this anymore. Flip it over and it is done. Take it out. Let all that oil drain off in there. Put it on your paper to drain. And that's alright guys, so we are all done. We made our saltfish here. Everybody knows how to make saltfish. And we make our good old big floaty bakes to go with our saltfish. So this is how we're gonna work this, guys. I have one here, and what I'm gonna do is we're gonna cut it and see the inside. See what the inside looks like. So now you can stuff this with whatever you want to do. You can put some cheese in here, you can put some ham in here, you can put some tuna in here, you can put some butter in here, you can put whatever you want to eat in here. So today we're doing saltfish, and I'm doing saltfish because when I first bought it, it had saltfish inside of it. So I'm doing saltfish. But as I said, you know, like saltfish, you can do whatever. And guys, this is what it looks like with your saltfish inside of it. Now I'm gonna cut this in half so you can see, have a better look, a better view. Cut it in half. Don't all look good. So you have the crunchy on the outside and the nice softness on the inside. Okay? Okay guys, so let me go ahead and give this a try for you so that I can tell you what it tastes like, okay? Guys, it's really good. It's nice and soft. Has a little crunch on the outside, and the saltfish in there. Thumbs up. It is really, really good. I put a little bit of cinnamon in it, and it has that nice cinnamony taste. If you don't like cinnamon, you don't have to put that in. This is really good, guys. I hope you guys can give it a try. It's really good. It's something you can make in the morning, in the afternoon, you can have for lunch, for breakfast, however you want to have it. Guys, don't forget to share the video, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. And I know a lot of you sometimes forget to press that thumbs up button. Don't forget to press the thumbs up button and press the bell so you will be notified every time I put a video up. I have fun making this. And I hope you have fun making some for your family. It was pretty easy to make. It wasn't hard at all. Until next time, bye-bye.